But I'll say one more thing about Snan Yatra. Why is this bathing ceremony? According to Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, it is the birthday of Jagannath. And you do Abhishekam for the Lord during his birthday. On Ram Navami, we do Abhishek for Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Hanuman. On Radhastami for Srimati Radharani. On Janmastami for Krishna. This is the day that Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra manifested these forms of Jagannath. But in Dwarka, Krishna, when he was laying in bed, he would cry out, Radhe, Radhe, Gopi, Gopi. And the queens of Dwarka would hear this. And one day they came to Rohini Devi, who lived in both Dwarka and Vrindavan. And they asked Rohini, can you tell us what is it about Krishna's loving of relationships in Vrindavan with Sri Radha and gopis, that Krishna, he's always chanting their names when he's sleeping. And another queen says he even chants their names when he's awake. What is their love? Can you explain? And Rohini said, I have seen the pastimes of love between Krishna and his devotees in Vrindavan. They are so sweet. But if I tell them to you, then Krishna and Balaram will come running here to hear them, and they will become so ecstatic hearing about them. They will want to return to Vrindavan, and I won't be able to continue. But they said, we want to hear, we want to hear. So they decided that Subhadra would guard the door of this big hall in the palace. And she stood right in the middle of the doorway, and if Krishna and Balaram were to come, she would warn Rohini, and she would stop speaking. So she started speaking of the beautiful leelas or pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan, the loving exchanges with Nanda, Yashoda, with the gopas, the cowherd boys. And then when she began to explain the loving pastimes between Krishna and the gopis, Subhadra became so ecstatic. In the symptoms of her happiness, her arms and legs went into her body like a tortoise withdraws its limbs. And her eyes became dilated in complete amazement of happiness. And then Krishna and Balaram came running. And Krishna came on one side of Subhadra and Balaram on the other, and they were listening. And nobody knew they were there. And Rohini continued to talk, and as they were listening to the pastimes of Vrindavan, Krishna's eyes became so big, and his hands and his legs went into his body. And he was stunned, and an incredible, gigantic smile came upon his face. And he was as motionless as wood in ecstasy. And Balaram was exactly the same way, in his own way. And at that moment, Narada Muni, the great sage, was playing his veena, and he came from above, and he saw this incredible darshan of Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra standing like three logs of wood in ecstasy with their eyes bigger than ever and their smile bigger than ever. And Narada Muni was so thrilled to see this form of the Lord in the ecstasies of remembering his pastimes in Vrindavan, in separation from his pastimes in Vrindavan. And Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, knowing Narada Muni was there, they came back to their original forms. And Narada Muni said, I have seen. Please give me one benediction, that somewhere in this world you will give darshan to the world in these forms of your Mahabhav Prakash. Sri Radharani is the personification of Mahabhav, the highest, deepest, ecstatic love. He is manifesting his love for his devotees in this form. And whoever sees this form, let them be liberated and be joyful. And in Jagannath Puri, Krishna is manifesting these forms. Srila Prabhupada, he brought these forms to the whole world. Shamsundar Prabhu, he was outside of Puri. He was the first person to carve deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra in San Francisco. And later he carved for Los Angeles and London. And Srila Prabhupada established the Snan Yatra and the Ratha Yatra, which we will all be celebrating very soon.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on thesacredconnect.com.